All right, we're under the Audi 4000, the Audi B2 generation, which is an Audi 80 in Europe. This is the Quattro, 5-cylinder Quattro version. And this has the original ur-quattro differential in the rear. So today's project is this big seal on this side because the differential is leaking oil. And this is a really large differential seal, or an axle, what do you call that? Axle shaft seal inside there. And you can only get it from Audi Tradition. And it's not expensive, but there's nowhere to get it, at least that I could find, except Audi Tradition in Ingolstadt. This one on this side, I'm not doing today, but it is a fairly standard size. So it's smaller and it's not that big a deal. So I am following my Bentley repair book instructions. First was drain the oil. This is a 17 millimeter inside hex plug. The fill plug somewhere up here, here it is. The fill plug is also a 17 millimeter. On this side, the first thing you do is to pull all the bolts from the flange. So I've pulled all of these bolts. And just so you know, these bolts use a, in German it's called a, Innenvielkant or something like that. So a multi-point star. On the rear, you use a 10 millimeter. On the front, you use an 8 millimeter. So good thing I ordered both of those. So that allows you to get these loose. And with a cheater bar on your ratchet and a few extensions running out here to the side, you can get in there pretty easily. So now that this is loose, the book says you take this and you hang it, and you hang it up out of the way. So that's part of it. And the other part is, they say take the left mounting bolt, which is this. This is also a normal 17 millimeter. It has a head on the top, so you need your, you can see the head of my wrench sticking out right there. So I've got a wrench on the top holding it, and I'm using a ratchet on the bottom. So it says loosen this. I don't think you're supposed to take it out, or maybe you are, I have to see. But the idea will be to let this side of the differential hang down low enough so that with this pushed up and the differential hanging down, you can get in here to this seal. So pull the bolt. It says unbolt this side, so that's what I've done. So now, anyway, my differential here has dropped down, and this up here I've got to get out of the way, and then hopefully I'll have enough access to get to that. All right, so there we have it. First of all, this axle flange, I had to just really push on it, and it finally made its way around that edge and got on top of the differential. So you see here, I've got this hanging down now. I've got the differential up out of the way, and so now I can get to all of this fun right in there, because that's where the seal will be, in there somewhere. So, and in order to get this flange off, I've just put this is a 6 millimeter hex inbus in the middle, and then I just put a couple of bolts back in there, and I'm using the handle of my hammer to hold the flange so that I can get this out. And the book says explicitly, do not lose any of the shims that are behind this thing. So when this all comes apart, we'll see what that means. this is the flange. And then the seal that we're replacing rubs right on this shiny spot here. So we're gonna sit that down there. And let's see what this looks like in there. So there's a look inside the differential, and this is the seal we want to get rid of. So we're looking to get this seal out. And the book shows something like a punch as a way to get that out. So this is the seal we're going to put in. So I'm looking here to see if something like this looks about like the tool they got there, and they're pushing somewhere here. It's hard to see, but it looks like they're pushing there and then it's coming up over here. Not sure. Anyway, let's try. From up top, I got my hammer back up here, and then all I did was push here on the inside of this seal and just hammer it inside of the housing. And what that did was that pushed it in far enough so that it's now just laying in there, and I can extract it as normal. Now, I'll do that without the camera, so I should be able to pull that out. Now, to use this special tool to put in the big seal on the driver's side, the way this works is the seal goes up on this lower step and covers it completely, so that the corner here is all the way up against the inside edge of the seal. So this is made out of a piece of hard plastic. It's not the original tool, and I ended up having to sand down this inside step because it was just the diameter was just a millimeter or so too big, and I couldn't get the seal to go over this, to comfortably go over this lower step. So I had to sand this down, this piece of plastic. Now, important, the tool comes like this, and it has a circlip here, and you don't want to forget to use this, because the way this works is this gets screwed into the differential to the inside of it once you get the flange off. And then using this nut, you're going to drive this plunger into the housing to push the seal in. So here's how it looks when it's mounted together. So you can see the circlip is on there, and that, as I said, will allow you to turn this nut against the thread, against the rod, and to pull this plunger out. And so definitely don't forget that step. So it's pulling on in. You have to make sure that this notch is clearing your shift rod for the locking differential. So then we just keep tightening like this, and you can see it's pulling on in. All right, we've pulled it up tight. Now the trick is going to be to get this tool extracted. All right, I have cranked up the car and I've got it running. Both indicator lights are on, showing that both diffs are locked. And you can see that the rear wheels are both spinning in the forward direction as well as the front. So, and if I cut out the rear diff, so by pushing one notch, you'll see the rear diff light went off, so that's good. That means my electric connections are still on. And now you'll see if I hold this wheel, then the other wheel is turning. So that means that the differential is not locked.